Imagine waking up every morning knowing your bank account just got a fresh deposit, clockwork, without you lifting a finger. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you there's a secret strategy that's been quietly turning regular people into financial freedom machines, and it's so simple, you'll wish you'd known about it years ago. Hi, I'm Your Name, and today I'm spilling the beans on something that completely changed my life. The Systematic Withdrawal Plan, or SWP. This isn't some get-rich-quick scam or a shady crypto scheme. It's a legit, time-tested way to make your money work for you, month after month, like your own personal ATM. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to set up your own SWP and start building a life where financial stress is a thing of the past. Ready? Let's dive in. Picture this. You're in your 30s, working a 9-to-5 job you don't love, constantly worried about bills, and wondering if you'll ever be able to retire without eating instant noodles every day. That was me 5 years ago. I was stuck in a cycle of earning, spending, and stressing, with no clear path to financial freedom. I thought the only way to make serious money was to work harder, hustle more, or pray for a lottery win. But here's the kicker. The real problem wasn't my income, it was that I didn't know how to make my money work for me. Have you ever felt like your savings are just sitting there, doing nothing, while you're still one paycheck away from disaster? That's the mystery I was facing, and I bet some of you are too. How do you turn a lump sum of cash or even a small investment into a steady stream of income that keeps flowing, month after month, without draining your savings? Let's talk about SWP, the secret weapon that solved this mystery for me. A systematic withdrawal plan is like a financial cheat code. You invest a chunk of money in a mutual fund or ETF, and then you set it up to pay you a fixed amount every month, like a salary. The rest of your money stays invested, growing over time, so you're not just spending your savings, you're letting them multiply. Sounds simple, right? But here's the first surprise. You don't need to be a millionaire to do this. I started with just $10,000, and it was enough to start generating a small monthly income that gave me breathing room. Want to know the best part? You can customize it. Want $500 a month? $1,000? You decide, and your investments keep working in the background. But before you think this is too good to be true, let me pull back the curtain on how this actually works. Because there's a twist you need to know. Here's how I set up my first SWP. And trust me, it's easier than you think. Step 1. I picked a mutual fund with a solid track record. Think something like a balanced fund that mixes stocks and bonds for steady growth. Step 2. I decided how much I wanted to withdraw each month. For me, it was $300 to start. Just enough to cover some bills. Step 3. I worked with my brokerage to set up automatic withdrawals. So every month, that money hits my account like clockwork. Now, here's the shocker. When you withdraw money from an SWP, you're not just dipping into your principal, you're selling off a small portion of your investment based on its current value. That means if the market's doing well, you're selling fewer shares to get your $300, and if the market dips, you sell a bit more. This is where the magic happens, but also where people get nervous. What if the market crashes? What if I run out of money? I had those same fears, but stick with me, because there's a way to make this nearly bulletproof. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you've got $100,000 invested in a fund that averages an 8% annual return. You set up an SWP to withdraw $500 a month. That's $6,000 a year, or 6% of your initial investment. Now, here's the jaw-dropping part. If the fund performs as expected, your money could last for decades, and in some cases even grow while you're withdrawing. I ran the numbers with a financial calculator, and with a 6% withdrawal rate and an 8% return, your $100,000 could still be worth over $80,000 after 20 years. That's right, you're getting paid every month, and your nest egg is still there, working for you. But here's the second surprise. I didn't just stumble into this. My first attempt at SWP was a disaster. I set my withdrawals to high 10%. A year-end almost burned through my savings in 3 years. That mistake taught me a critical lesson. There's a sweet spot for withdrawals, and I'm going to share it with you. The key to making SWP work is something called the safe withdrawal rate. Financial gurus have studied this for years, and the golden rule is to withdraw 4% or less of your initial investment each year. So, for that $100,000, you'd take out $4,000 a year, or about $333 a month. Why 4%? Because it's sustainable. Studies show that a 4% withdrawal rate, adjusted for inflation, gives you a 90% chance of not running out of money over 30 years, even if the market has some bad years. When I learned this, it was like a light bulb went off. I adjusted my S to a 3.5% withdrawal rate, and suddenly, I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. My monthly withdrawals covered my car payment and groceries, and my investments kept growing. But here's the thing, not every fund is created equal, and picking the wrong one can derail your plan. That's the next twist you need to watch out for. Choosing the right fund for your SWP is like picking the right car for a cross-country road trip. You don't want something that breaks down halfway. I made the mistake early on of picking a higher risk stock fund, thinking I'd get bigger returns. Big mistake. The market tanked, and my withdrawals ate into my principal faster than I expected. Here's the third surprise. The best funds for SWP aren't the flashy ones, promising 20% returns. They're the boring, steady ones. Think bond funds, balanced funds, or ETFs like the Vanguard Total Market Fund, which mix stability with growth. These funds might average 6 to 8% returns, but they're less likely to give you a heart attack during a market crash. For example, I switched to a balanced fund with 60% stocks and 40% bonds, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. My monthly income is steady, and I'm not sweating every dip in the stock market now. Let's talk about my story, because this is where SWP went from a strategy to a life changer. 5 years ago, I was a stressed-out graphic designer, working freelance gigs and barely saving anything. I had $15,000 in a savings account earning pennies in interest. I felt trapped, like I'd never escaped the grind. Then I stumbled across SWP in a financial podcast, and it was like finding a treasure map. I took that $15,000, put it into a low-cost mutual fund, and set up a modest SWP for $200 a month. It wasn't much, but it was enough to cover my phone bill and some subscriptions, which felt like a huge win. Over time, I added more to my investment, $5,000 here, $10,000 there, and now my SWP pays me $1,200 a month. That's enough to cover my rent. I'm not rich, but I'm free. I can take a vacation without panicking, spend time with my kids, and even dream about retiring early. If I can do this, so can you. So, how do you get started? It's simpler than you think, but you've got to avoid the traps. First, pick a fund with low fees for expense ratios under 0.5%. Second, set a withdrawal rate that won't burn through your money. I stick to 3.5%, but 4% is fine for most people. Third, work with a reputable brokerage like Fidelity, Vanguard, or even a robo-advisor like Betterment, which can set this up for you in minutes. And here's a pro tip. Don't go it alone. Talk to a financial advisor to make sure your SWP fits your goals. I wish I'd done that sooner. It would have saved me from my early mistakes. You can start small, too. Even $5,000 can generate $15 to $20 a month, which is a great way to dip your toes in. Let's bust some myths before we wrap up. Myth number 1. You need a ton of money to start an SWP? Not true. You can start with as little as $1,000 in some funds. Myth number 2. Is too risky. Sure, there's risk, but with the right fund and a conservative withdrawal rate, it's one of the safest ways to create passive income. Myth number 3. You'll lose all your money. Nope. If you stick to the 4% rule, your money can last a lifetime. The truth is, SWP isn't a magic bullet. It takes discipline and planning, but it's a game changer for anyone who wants financial freedom without selling their soul to a 9-2-5. Here, single quotes as the big picture. SWP is like planting a money tree that pays you every month while still growing. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about building a system that gives you freedom, security, and peace of mind. I went from stressing about every bill to knowing I've got money coming in, rain or shine. And the best part? Anyone can do this. You don't need to be a Wall Street genius or have a fat bank account. You just need to start. So, what's stopping you? Take that first step today. Open a brokerage account, pick a fund, and set up your SWP. Your future self will thank you. If this video blew your mind, smash that like button to let me know you want more content like this. And if you're ready to take control of your financial future, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a tip. Want to know the one investment I wish I'd made 10 years ago to supercharge my SWP? Stick around for my next video. It's going to change the way you think about money forever. See you there.